West Cork Beard Company make beard oil and beard balm for a strong, healthy, great-looking beard. Handmade from all natural ingredients in Clonakilty, West Cork. Check out their YouTube channel for beard care tips and advice, or catch them online at westcorkbeardcompany.ie.
For Gooners everywhere, this is the ultimate football app for you. For match highlights, interviews, and the best Arsenal videos and podcasts. Download the free Gunners app now from the App Store and Google Play.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you might be. Welcome back to the Same Old Arsenal podcast, episode 107. Good evening to you all. Hello to you all in the chat box. Over 50 of you in there already. Blimey, how are you? Obviously, opening up there with our adverts for our podcast sponsors, the West Cork Beer Company. Check the link in the description below, and obviously gunners.com. Link to their app below in the description. A must for all Arsenal fans. Episode 107. Blah blah blah. Dan, how are you, sir?
Yeah, very well, thank you, mate. There was some adverts there, weren't there? That was nice.
Well, you see, we're going up in the world now, you see.
Yeah, very professional as well, Craig. I normally sit there and it shows me face for 5 minutes before I click the button, so well done.
Yeah. You see,
I'm well, mate, I'm well.
Well, like I said, we're going up in the world. None of these, the Colin actually pays for the software we use, and we play his advert. Well, when I say pay, it's a nominal fee, he helps towards it. And the other one is not a paid sponsorship. He designed our new thumbnail. So I said, you design the thumbnail and I'll play an advert for you. So he said, all right then. I'll scratch your back and I'll scratch your, that's how it works, mate.
Pleasure doing business, isn't it? Pleasure doing business.
Mark, how are you, sir?
Really good, mate. Thanks. Really chilled. You all right?
Yeah.
More importantly, are you all right?
Can you get more? Any chilled, mate? Sitting in your kitchen there?
Well, I'm sitting in my kitchen now. You know why? Because half my house is a building site now, and I didn't really want to sit where I usually sit because that's technically outside.
Outside.
So I've been banished to the kitchen, but that's the best place to be at a party. Everyone knows that.
That's true. There's a good bit of cold air coming through. That's why. Judges, how are you?
I'm all right, thank you, Nigel. How are you? Sorry, Craig. You're all right, are you? Yeah, I'm all good. I'm all good, I'm all good. Yeah, fine. Fine. I am absolutely all right, 3 points. Can't be more happy than that, Nigel. Craig, sorry.
Now, so Dad,
he's out.
That's the way to do it, Craig. That's the way to do it.
Not even one strike.
Yeah,
he gone.
He doesn't get a chance. He doesn't get any chances. He only gets one.
What you should have said, Craig.
Co-host or not, Arsenal celebrity or not, he cannot come on here.
You should have said, you're calling me Nigel. It's time for me to do my job, and then get him out.
Exactly.
That's what you should have done.
That's what I've done. Yeah.
How is Nigel? He's in the group chat tonight.
What happened there? Craig, do your job. Come on, none of this, please. Right, come on.
Doing my job,
Craig.
I was just doing my job and got you out of there.
How are we? More importantly, I've got a bit of a bad back, if I'll be honest, but we won't go into that. But how are you, mate? That's the most important thing. You all right? Getting old. Oh, I'm getting old. Well, have a look at yourself. You know what I mean? it's not,
Now,
put that beard all on your head.
Have a go at Craig, right? Fucking hell.
No. Well, just, you know what they say. My dad always said this. If you really like someone, you always give them a bit of the old stick, So.
Oh, yeah.
This is what we're doing, aren't we? Mark's in the clock end. Hey, it's all good.
Hey, we're the clock end. We're the clock end. We're the clock end.
All good. Like that. I've got a real bad back, Craig. I don't want everybody to feel sorry for me, but it's just terrible. At one stage, I'm going to be honest, I was thinking I might have to
go on. Don't he go on about
it? Sorry.
Honestly, don't know the half of it.
Ah, sorry. How are we, guys? All right, are we?
We're all right, mate.
That's the bit that I do.
All right.
Just before we carry on, there's over 100 of you in the chat room. There's over, I think. If you could all hit the like button right now, I want to set for those who are watching on the replay. I'm going to set a big task this evening. I'm going to go for it weekly, and I'm going to go for 500 likes. So if you're watching this on the replay, hit the like button now before we get going. And if you're in the chat box, hit the like button now. Thank you very much. 500 is what I'm going for.
What we should do, if someone hits the like button, we should check it out and then maybe sort them out, so a little prize.
Maybe
you could send them a scarf, Lou.
Yeah,
yeah. I
maybe you could. I can't. Well, we might as well say it now. But Mark has led us into it beautifully. I can't remember the fella's name who won the scarf. Unfortunately, it's still here.
Still here, isn't it? I forgot to send it.
Unfortunately, the scarf caught the coronavirus, so it's been quarantined for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's got the all clear now, so we can send it off. So if you are watching, I must send you a message this evening because I only found out myself this evening that Lee hasn't sent it. So we'll be winging its way to you next week.
Very shortly.
Yes, very shortly. Now, let's get going. Dan, West Ham. Come on, you Hammers! We beat them 1-0. Wasn't a very good game, mate, was it? But, like I said in the group chat the other night, winning ugly is becoming beautiful.
Yeah, well, this is it. And the performance was, I thought, again, pretty shoddy. I looked at the team sheet and thought to myself, he's still rotating, still not quite sure how some of the players are deserving to stick into this team. I think the likes of Ozil, it's time for him to be kind of dropped out of the side now. Didn't like the fact that Socrates started as right back. It looks really, really likely that Ainsley Maitland-Niles is going to be leaving now because whatever he has done, Arteta is not a happy bunny with him. I'm still a bit frustrated with some of the individual performances, but if I'm going to be positive, I thought Saka was outstanding again, playing at left back. I was really impressed with Danny Ceballos because the midfield for me was just a little bit dead. I wasn't too impressed with Ozil or Xhaka. However, I was impressed with Danny Ceballos. I thought he was really good driving forward with that. And I have to take hats off again, and no one again seems to want to credit the guy, but I will. Leno, I thought he kept us in it yet again. Sorry, Craig. I know that you do want to. You're one that does give him credit, but a lot of people don't want to. And I do like Leno, and I thought again he was great. If it wasn't for him, I think that we could have easily lost the game. And to be fair, West Ham were very wasteful, and it does give me I'm a little bit pessimistic going into Wednesday, just for the pure fact that if Antonio was Aguero, then yeah, it could be 3-1 the scoreline, and we would not be very happy bunnies. So there is still a lot of work out there. The one thing I'll say just lastly, so I don't want to go into it too much, Mesut Ozil, him and Pepe, one of them's got to be dropped. I don't care what anyone says, they cannot play together because what is happening with Ozil at the moment is he's drifting out to the right. So then what Pepe does is straight away, he's got to beat 3 men. So Ozil is dumping the men onto Pepe. It can't work. Pepe's either got to be through the middle or Ozil's got to be dropped as far as I'm concerned because Pepe's getting a lot of stick and what Ozil's doing is basically bringing and dragging a load of men over to him for Pepe to try and get round. So, yeah, wasn't very impressive, Ozil again. And I also counted 12 misplaced passes from Granit Xhaka, 70% of which went straight to West Ham. But people are still telling me he's the best we got. So, shocking. Say again?
Did you watch the game? He had his pen and paper out all the time.
Yeah. I was, mate. I was not a happy bunny, Lee. But there we go. But that was my idea. That was me. I'm not. I know we won. It's great that we won. It's great we've gone unbeaten for a while now. But for me, I'm not seeing enough to say that we're going to get 4th or 5th if City do get knocked out. I still think we're a way off. That's just me.
Mark, a few people on Twitter are going around, as you do, you scroll through your timeline there, and a few people are saying that they can't see any improvement under Mikel Arteta. Which is what I was just about to come into. We're unbeaten in the league, I believe, this year.
Yeah.
If they haven't seen any improvement, I would suggest I would suggest that they find a new sport to watch. But I understand people's frustrations, like Dan's frustrations there about the performances not being pretty. But at the moment, we're doing something that we haven't been able to do for a long time, and that's win ugly. Yes, the performances have not been up to scratch. Since Arteta's here, he seems to be sorting out the defence, but unfortunately now the rot seems to have worked its way through to the midfield, and we look very, very, very vulnerable in midfield now. What's your take on the game?
Well, there's a few things that you touched on there, isn't it? But I think Dan's frustrations are coming from individual performances. But when people talk about what Arteta's done since he's come here, and he has galvanised them as a unit, and we talked about it many times before about how we've shored up the defence, with a couple of people parked in front of it, and that has taken something away from the attacking play. Tobias wasn't fit when Arteta come in. He's coming to the side now, and he is that pass. He is that link, isn't he? He's the one that creates the opportunities and stuff like that. Talk about improvement under Arteta. That's one of them. We're conceding half the amount of chances that we was giving away, shots on our goal, although West Ham done fairly well at the weekend. But we were shipping 20, 30 shots on our goal before he come in, and we're not now. I think it wasn't a glorious performance, but we have found a way of winning ugly, which we never did towards the latter season under Wenger and stuff like that. And there was an interesting comment after the game, Arteta's interview, where he said, big clubs find a way. And it's an interesting statement that he's come out with there for many reasons. Firstly, we found a way. Who cares? Move on. That's part of the league process. No one remembers how you won 1-0, or no one looks back at 1991 and says, "Crikey, wasn't Tony Adams and that lot lucky when they went away to Swansea that night?" And who cares? Won the league, got the job done, and we got the job done at the weekend. So football isn't always about playing like Barcelona, Brazil, Holland, whatever you want to call it, total football. Sometimes you do have to win ugly, and Liverpool have done it a few times this year, and that is what they do. But the other interesting thing about that statement is the fact that Arteta is still regarding us in his mind, in his way about managing this club, as a big club. And that fills me with great enthusiasm and optimism for the future.
Lee, just before I come to you, this is actually a very good point that comes in from Michael. Even though winning ugly is nice, but he says we're going to lose ugly Wednesday night if we put in a first half performance like we did on Saturday, and I think that comes back to what Dan was saying. What do you reckon, mate? Yeah.
Well, listen. Sometimes when you win, it can mask a thousand things, and you just that's why people have said to me, "Oh, why weren't you happy on Saturday?" Yeah, I'm happy that we won the game, but if you think because you're winning 1-0 like that, everything's going to be rosy and all that, it's not going to happen. You will get found out. Let's get to the facts of the matter. Is that we have stopped a lot of shots, but the match stats for this game, I'm doing a Graham here. The match stats for the game were like they had 14 shots at West Ham, 14 shots, full from bottom, 14 shots against us. We had 9 shots on target. They had 6, and shots on target we had 2. We're paying a lot of money to go and watch the Arsenal, and I actually watched a game of football on Saturday, and it was just no quality to it whatsoever. There wasn't no quality football. I didn't look at anybody in the game and say, "God, this is he's exciting me. He's doing this. He's doing that." And the fact of the matter is, people have turned around and said, "Oh yeah, we kept a clean sheet." Was that down to Arsenal? Brilliant goalkeeping, brilliant defending. I put it down to wasteful play from them. A professional footballer goes through one-on-one with our goalkeeper. He only has to put it across the park, and they have a tap in, and he puts it behind him. It's just criminal from them. They had one shot off from a yard out, and he put it wide. We're not stopping teams having these chances. There was one time when I'm going to say this now. Leno made a fantastic save from a header from Antonio. There are two of them at the far post, 6-7 yards out with free header. If Antonio don't head it, the other one heads it. And it was a great save. But a good centre forward, a class team buries that. Leno shouldn't have a chance. And I think that it was very, very poor all round. But positives are we got a performance and we got the win. And what has disappointed me is that then again, them people then start having a go individually at players. You know what I mean? And Xhaka ain't up for it now. Xhaka's worst game for a very, very long time since I think Arteta's come in there. If I'll be honest, Ceballos I thought was a positive. Socrates. I said it on an interview. I've had to endure him as a centre half and now at a right back. You know what I mean? There are questions that I look at Arteta. Is there no one better to play at right back than that? I feel that people are starting to criticise Bellerin, but Bellerin, I believe, it's come out that he's got an injury. Well, if he has been playing with an injury, what does that tell you about Maitland-Niles that's fit? Yeah, massive, I think there's probably, so I'm looking at that and is that, so whose fault is that? And I'm looking at the manager on this point of view, and I'm looking at it in there. And I, as much as I'm going to give Mikel Arteta all the time in the world and everything there, I would like to for him to come out and say, right, I believe that Eddie, I'm not going to say his second name, Eddie, all right, yeah, deserves to play in this team in front of Martinelli. Give me your reasons now. I'll give you 5-10 minutes. Can you explain to me? Because for the life of me, I can't. You know what I mean?
Do you reckon, Lou, do you reckon that there's some sort of clause in Martinelli's deal whereby if he plays, because we know the Brazilian clubs, they love an add-on. Do you reckon there's some sort of clause whereby if he plays 75% of Arsenal games, do you reckon?
I think it could be saying in that, you know what I mean? It could be that he's rested him for Wednesday night. You know what I mean? If I'll be honest, thinking maybe that he's going to get the job done in this game there. But I look at that and I think, well, this, and it really it's getting on my goat, right? It's getting on my goat that when people keep turning around and saying, if we didn't have a Aubameyang, we'd be 17th or we'd be relegated. We didn't have this and didn't have that. He was out for 3 games because of his ban. Martinelli come in and scored goals. We didn't miss. When no one was saying that about Aubameyang then. Aubameyang comes straight back in. Rightly so. I watched Aubameyang on Saturday. He was just isolated on the left wing.
Wasted.
Wasted.
Yeah, wasted.
And you've got a kid that's playing there. And nothing against Eddie. I think that it's great that he's getting games, and I'm not saying that he shouldn't be. But at the end of it, he wasn't holding the ball up. He didn't look a goal threat, and I felt it was a little bit unfortunate for him to be playing it. I thought he was a little bit out of his depth. And you've got an 18-year-old kid that I've gone to the game that I'm excited about watching, right? And where I was sitting, I just see him warming up all the game, and the game crying out for a goal. And then I look at it and I think, right, all right, he's bringing on a sub. He's got to bring on a sub now. On comes Nelson, who hasn't seen for about a month.
Crazy.
He played well against Portsmouth in the week. I'm not saying that he didn't. And I'm just thinking, well, what the hell is Martinelli not doing to get into this team? And I'm sorry, people keep saying to me, oh, well, he's 18 and all that. Well, Saka is our best player along with him at this moment in time. Saka's playing all the games. And I just feel that, there's a few little worrying signs coming in there. I agree with what Dan's saying, you know what I mean? That's now Mesut Ozil's, I thought was absolutely horrendous against Olympiacos. And yesterday he never created nothing. Hold on, before everybody shouts me down. Nothing until he got till we scored the goal, which I'm going to be really honest with you, was a fantastic bit of play. You know what I mean? Like to head that ball back. I think you have to give credit where credit's due. But up until that moment, he done absolutely nothing. But he'll come back into the team. He'll be playing in the next game. And then somebody like Martinelli or Maitland-Niles has 1 bad game, 2 bad games. Bang, out. Guendouzi, another one. Every time I've seen Guendouzi play, I think he's done okay. I thought he was very, very good against Portsmouth. He was outstanding against Bournemouth in the FA Cup the last round. All of a sudden, you know, he doesn't come into the side, you know. So that's my little rant for it. Oh, look, at the end of the day, we've got the 3 points. That's great and all that. But if you keep just saying, oh, yeah, we've kept a clean sheet, we've won 1-0, it's great, and everything's rosy, you have to sometimes, you know, pick a few negatives from a win. You know, because when you lose, everybody goes, oh, well, that's mad. But if you don't improve on those sort of performances and those little things there, then we're in trouble.
Dan is in the chat, and he informs me, Dan from Bergkamp Wonderland. Go and follow them on Twitter at Bergkamp Wonderland, and also go and listen to their brilliant podcast, the first Arsenal podcast I ever listened to, actually. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be doing this now, because they were my inspiration to start podcasting. So there you go. So, Danny, good evening, sir. And he says, Judge, the 2019 Serie D season ran from May to August. He joined us in the summer. Martinelli had no break. There you go. So he's been playing straight through. He's had no break.
I love Dan, but he's talking nonsense.
Well, he's not, because he's talking facts.
He played every Premier League game then before when Emery was in. He just only started. He was only playing.
Yeah, but he hasn't. Yeah, but he hasn't had a break. He's been. Don't forget, he's been training. Been training every day.
He's 18 years old.
So everyone
he doesn't need a break. He's playing football, having a laugh with his mates in the park. You know what I mean? He's not sleeping chimneys for a living.
Everyone needs a break, whether you're 18.
Yeah, like you know. Look, listen. You know, I've got a lot of time for Danny and all that. Like. And I get what he's saying, maybe making a little bit of an excuse here. He's been the best player. He's been coming off the bench at times for us this season and exciting games. He's been playing the Europa League game, scoring goals. I watched that game on Saturday, and there was not one bit of quality from 22 players. That's including them, right? The one player that would give us a lot of quality is not playing. You know, and I'm sorry, I don't see the justification. Not only the justification of that is you're putting in Eddie, right? Yeah, into a centre forward role when you've got Aubameyang that can play that role as well. Like, you know what I mean? So I just don't see the logic in it. You know, that's my thing.
I'm with you there. But you know, I mean, going back to the resting thing, the Martinelli. I mean, everyone needs a rest. I mean, if he has come in and he's been playing a full season and he's come in and he's carried on training and he's going into a Premier League season, which is 10 times more physical and demanding than where he was playing, you know, the kid's going to get tired. Dan,
well, tell him to go to bed early then.
Dan, Arteta has come into a mess, right? We all know that. You know, Wenger left a mess. Emery came in, looked like he was going to steady the ship, went on a 20-game unbeaten run. Then it all went tits up for him. He left a mess. Arteta's come in. Looks like he's going to, well, I hope. He steadied the defence. Look, you know, hopefully he's just going to steady the ship. Are we saying that we should be, and I've said this before, now we're out of the Europa League. You know, I'm looking at the league table today and I'm thinking, bloody hell, we could actually still get fifth. You know, we could still win the FA Cup. We could still get back into Europe.
Lee, you all right, Lee?
He can do that all he likes. I didn't mention the Champions League, did I? Didn't mention the Champions League, did I?
Throw him off again. Throw him off again.
Did I mention the Champions League?
Your opinion.
Did I mention the Champions League?
We said Arsenal will get 4th or 5th.
No, I didn't.
What just now? Did I hear that?
Did I just say that?
What did you say?
I said I looked at the league table today, and looking at it, we could still get 5th. We could still win the FA Cup, which means we could still get European football.
5th? You think we can get 5th after what you see the other day?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I want to come round your house and watch a game with you and drink what you drink because you're doing a game for me.
So you think? So with the remaining fixtures that we've got, you don't think 5th is an option at all?
I don't think we'll get 5th. I'll tell you what. Like, I'll be honest. We've got.
No, I'll ask Dan first. I'll ask Dan first because you've already had your say.
I haven't. You just
Right, Dan. We're 5 points off Manchester United with a game in hand. Okay. How many games we got left? Is it 12, is it?
10.
10. So we're 5 points off Manchester United with a game in hand. 5th is well reachable.
In my opinion, I'm going to do this as well. No, I don't agree.
Wow.
And the reason I don't agree, is because I'm looking at the performances thinking this isn't good enough side. I really do, Craig. And I think that Chelsea and Man United yesterday want it more than us because one of them's gone to the extremes of beating Everton 4-0, a side that we just scraped past, and the other one has beaten Man City, which, okay, is not the same Man City side that we saw last season, but it is still a good side, and I thought they played really well. So I think them two are the ones that are looking favourites. Tottenham have got some problems, without a doubt, but so have we, and we're still looking at Wolves and Sheffield United, and they've shown all season how hungry they are. Watch Wolves beat Olympiacos, because they will. Wolves will beat Olympiacos over 2 legs. You hear it here first. And I still feel that Sheffield United are hungrier than us and could beat us in the cup. They're two sides that I don't want to face, if I'm honest with you, this season. And we've got them. So, yeah, there we go. I don't think the FA Cup is doable. I really don't. I think there's the big sides in it are all hungrier than us and playing better than us. So I believe that there is some problems there. Going to Arteta, I honestly believe everybody said, what is Arteta going to be like as a manager? What is he going to be like? Is he going to have a style? Is he going to be similar to managers? I haven't seen him similar to Pep Guardiola. I've actually seen him worryingly similar to Arsene Wenger. And I'll tell you why. About 6 or 7 years ago, when we had Aaron Ramsey, he was forcing him out on the right. We're seeing him do that with Aubameyang. We're seeing him keep faith in players like Mesut Ozil and Granit Xhaka, 2 players that Arsene Wenger did. What is going on here? We're getting all these things flicked up. What is happening?
All on Craig.
Distracting me. That's what it is.
He's got his parents in there. He's got his kids on there. Everything
They're loving him, aren't they? Loving him. So you've got similarities, in my opinion, to Arsene Wenger. He's now bringing in Mustafi back and making him play apparently amazing, and the next Cannavaro. We've got Granit Xhaka he's keeping faith with, who's apparently this Andrea Pirlo. And then we've got Mesut Ozil, who's apparently a Kevin De Bruyne. I just get frustrated because I think these are the guys that I don't want to see in the team. And Arteta is now doing what Arsene Wenger did and telling us all that they have amazing mental strength. They haven't got mental strength. They're weak. These are weak senior players that messed up in Baku, that have lost games against Olympiacos, that have lost games in the Premier League and can't keep leads. They seem to be able to, everyone was laughing at Liverpool for losing 3-0 to Watford. We were 2-0 up against Watford and we still messed it up. So I look at it now and think, these players now need to have a wake-up call. And Arteta is worrying me slightly because he is starting to show signs of confusion. He's put in Aubameyang on the wing to make way for a 20-year-old in Nketiah that couldn't get in the side against Leeds. We're looking at Socrates now at right back because Maitland-Niles has apparently got a bad attitude problem. Guendouzi's been frozen out. And like Lee said, he's putting people like Reece Nelson and Eddie Nketiah ahead of Martinelli. There's not 1 or 2 problems there for me. There's a few. And it does worry me because I like Arteta. I think he's great with his press conferences and I have been impressed with how he's installed some confidence. But since Dubai, we are not running after the ball. We're not looking at high intensity. We're not looking like we've got a style. The transition is somehow worse from defence to forward. So I am worried. I am. And I think that, it is going to be very difficult for us for the rest of the season. Looking at those 10 games, we've still got Liverpool at home, City away. We've still got Wolves away, Leicester at home, Spurs away. That's 5 games right there. I'm sitting there thinking those 5 games, I don't really fancy us to get many points out of those. We've only got 5 left. So for
15 points will get out of them, Dan. 15 points.
Wow.
Carry on.
If you believe that, mate.
Is this not, Mark? Is this not, Mark, a great time to be playing Manchester City?
Oh, it doesn't matter, does it? Look, the season's gone.
I think
the season's done.
I think to you, I'll say this to you, Mark. This is a great time to be playing Manchester City. They've just been done by their rivals, and if there's anyone that knows how to beat them, we've got him.
We said that last time when they rolled up at the Emirates and Kevin De Bruyne turned into Marco van Basten. But, it can be whatever. It's irrelevant. They don't care about the league. really, what this is a high intensity pre-season friendlies from now until the start of the next season. Everybody is playing for their places, and talking about playing people out of position. And I 100% agree with you guys. But what I'm saying is that Arteta he's trying to work on a system. And he's working with the tools that he's got. He's trying to put square pegs in round holes and all the rest of it, because what choice does he have? I mean, I know we could say play Maitland-Niles, but if he's got the ump with him, if the boy's done something against his code of conduct, and he's trying to set an example to the others, to the Sakas, the Martinellis, and the peoples like that, if he has done that, if he's taken a stance, then we have to back him. Now, they're talking about rumours that Guendouzi, Maitland-Niles, these are young lads who have got higher market values. They're potentially, along with the Socrates and Mustafis and people like that, that these boys are going to be used to freshen up the squad in the summer. Well, if that's the case, if that's what Arteta wants to do, we have to back him, don't we? At some point, we're going to have to say what he's doing is getting results, and it might not be what we really want, but it is what we've got right now. So I think, he's just experimenting around. He's trying to get his ethos into the players. He's trying to put down, what it is that he's expecting. And like I say, I don't expect us to get fourth. It's definitely not fourth, and especially the way Man United have clicked. By the way, what a January signing that lad's turned out to be that they've gone and got. That has completely transformed their season, and possibly the next decade of their football club. And that just goes to show you what you can do in January if you really, really want to.
You've got ambition.
Exactly, Lee. And it also helps if you're one of the richest football clubs in the world, of course, with an owner that doesn't mind backing his team, which is interesting because we came up against West Ham at the weekend, didn't we? And, we've got an owner there that's taken a salary out of the club, an advisory salary out of the club. And, the West Ham fans are not happy with their owner. But, he doesn't take an absolute penny out of their football club. He just runs it as a fan. So, anyway, back to the matter in hand. Is the season, what we've got left, the league games, I think we're just managing the squad, trying to get Arteta to know his players and know his boys. And for me, it's all about the FA Cup, because we're in the game to win trophies.
Lee, the fixtures we've got left, obviously we've got Manchester City on Wednesday. A lot of people, obviously, the negativity is massive around this. Obviously, a lot of people don't think we can get anything out of it. I'm going to have to flip it on its head and say I think we can. Brighton away after that. Southampton away. I mean, Arsenal at home. Norwich at home. Sure, are we really saying that we don't think we're going to beat Brighton away or Southampton away and Norwich at home?
But I think, listen, how I see it, and people are saying, you've got to be positive and everything like that, and I get that. But as positive as you can be, you keep seeing the same things happen. Now,
exactly.
I look at the Man City game, and you're quite right what you say. Manchester City, this is the best time to take them on. The reason it's the best time to take them on is because they've now the issue that they're safe. The intensity of the league has gone for them. If you play them in the FA Cup or you play them in the Champions League, you're going to get a different animal. You can see that they're playing, resting a few players. They're bringing in the young kid now, giving him Foden more games for next season. It's quite clever of Pep. That you could see in yesterday's game the intensity wasn't there. It's the best chance Arsenal have got of winning at Man City for 10 years. 5 years previously and another 5 going forward, because this is a different out. And let's see what they do. And then after that, I'll make a judgment. Can they go to Brighton and win? Yes, they can. But there's always that, you just don't know what team's going to turn up. You don't know what's going to happen, And people going, you've got to believe in the team and all that. I believe in the team every time. And I believed that after we lost to Olympiacos, which hurt, I wanted to see a massive reaction, come out against West Ham and give them a good bloody hiding. Didn't happen. You know what I mean? And we got lucky, and so that's what I see. Now, can we, but unfortunately we haven't got Southampton. Well, fortunately we've not got Southampton because we've got the FA Cup game in now, which is Sheffield United. So do I think that we can go to these games and win those games? Yes. If Arsenal are going to get 5th place, right, or 4th place or whatever grade, they have got to go to Manchester City, Tottenham, Wolves, and there's another tough one in there as well. Like, you know, with Liverpool at home, right, and somehow stay unbeaten in those games, right? And I cannot see them doing it when I see them giving up chances like they do against to West Ham. You know, you've got to go there. I see Manchester United on Sunday, and Mark's definitely right. You know what I mean? They've signed that Fernandes. They look a different side. They look a different side with him in there, and just one signing has transformed him into being a different animal. Like, they've lost one game this season, since the new year against us, and we absolutely annihilated him in the game. They signed one player and things were two players with the guy out front, but things have changed. Arsenal signed Mari and Cedric. Well, Cedric, I do believe he's back in full training now, you know, so he's got to come back in. And I think, you know, there's a plus for us. I thought Mari done well on Saturday. I know people have been criticising him a little bit, but I thought, you know, what I see was a good thing. So we've got to go and beat Brighton. We've got to go and beat City. Norwich City, sorry, and we've got to go to Manchester City tomorrow, and on Wednesday, and put in a performance which will tell me, yes, Arsenal are going in the right direction. Because at this moment in time, I don't see it. I just see us spluttering along, making improvements, which we have done. But I think what Dan is alluding to is these players, let's show some character. Let's see your character now. Let's see what you can do in a big game against Manchester City. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. If we lose, there's going to be people out there go, that's not the same Norwich, that's not the same Manchester City that we've seen, which has certainly happened with the Manchester game yesterday. People are making excuses. I don't care. They're going to take. They've still got good players, Manchester City, whoever they bring out there. There's going to be no De Bruyne. There's going to be no Aguero. So straight away, you've got half a chance, but I'd rather be playing against a Manchester City without them two than them in there. So there's a chance we can go there and do something, like, you know. And I always believe Arsenal can win, and I think that's why it bloody hurts when they don't, because you get yourself up for it and it lets yourself down. I watched that game on Saturday, feeling very like we're going to do it, and I was let down. And I'm pretty sure that Mikel Arteta feels the same as well. I watched him in the game against Olympiacos, very, very frustrated, Craig, when things weren't going what he was getting from the players. So I think that's the way, you know. And let's just see. You know, you can only keep, you know, we've put in, I said the positive it always, and also is that when we play the better sides, you know, we show character. Russ has put in there, you know, we ain't got a backbone, we've got a backbone like a jellyfish, right? Okay. Well, we showed a lot of backbone against Chelsea, which people seem to forget. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? He must have been on the Guinness that day, because obviously he's forgot about that game. You know, so Arsenal can do it, but they've got to do it week in, week out. That is what makes the teams the better that they are. And that's all I'm looking, and I want to see that week in, week out. Yes, what Mark says there, every single game I want to see Arsenal competing in it. Let's also get in, before everybody says I'm being negative and all that, there's a big, big positive here. We are the only unbeaten team in the Premier League since January. Everybody else has been beaten, apart from the mighty Arsenal.
Which is what I was just about to say, and I'll come to that on Dan. Are we forgetting the fact? We're all very well sit here to say that, you know, we're this and we're disappointed with this and we want to see this and we want to see that. We are unbeaten. You know, we go to Manchester City. We're going to go to Manchester City on Wednesday night unbeaten. Chances are, you know, like I said, I still think I think we can get a result, but we might come away from there. You know, we might get beat, but we can't. I can't. I'm not going to go into the Manchester City game thinking about the West Ham game. The West Ham game is done. We've won.
Move on.
The points are on the board. Now let's see what happens against Manchester City. I don't see why we should always look back and say, well, against Olympiacos, we done this and we done that. Against West Ham, we done this and we done that. Against Olympiacos, Leno cost us the game. You know, we go to West Ham, Leno wins us the game. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I think the problem is the reason people are forgetting we've gone unbeaten, and I don't think it's the fact that people are going, oh, the result. People are going the performance, and that's the difference here. I'm not seeing personally, and everyone can have disagree. I don't see that I am seeing as progress. I don't see us getting better here. So this is the worrying thing for me. I'm going into Wednesday not very confident. I take 1-1 now. I take 0-0 now. If I'm honest with you, I would just don't lose. I think is the tactics as far as I'm concerned, and maybe that's what Arteta will set up like, is just try not to lose the game, because I don't want to see us get battered, because if we play like we did against West Ham, we will be 3-0 down in the first half. We will be. It's fact, because Antonio, I mean, I don't know what he was doing. He just had an off day, but Aguero won't, because he doesn't have an off day, or Jesus, whoever it be. So I don't want to sit there and be pessimistic. I'm realistic, and the way I'm seeing it at the moment, I can't have much to be optimistic about. There's certain individual players I'm optimistic about. Half of them are on the bench, though. That's my problem, Apart from Saka, the ones are on the bench. I'm looking at Guendouzi playing well, like Lee said. I'm looking at Martinelli, and I'm thinking, what is going on here? Why are we doing this? Now, it might be that we see on Wednesday Martinelli plays. Lacazette goes back up front. We might see Dani Ceballos. We might see Guendouzi. I don't know what Arteta's plans are yet, because we're now out of Europe, and it would suggest that this is our rotation game next, because we are basically playing another midweek game. So we might see some rotation again, and I hope we do, because I don't want to see some of the players that I've seen on Saturday again, if I'm honest with you. You talk about Martinelli needing a break. Doesn't Xhaka need a break then? Because he hasn't played. He's played every blooming minute of every game, and he's the first name on the team sheet. So, we're looking at it now thinking these players need to be dropped out now. They're basically playing all the time. And I talk about mentality, and it's funny because I was speaking to Russ in the chat at the moment. I was speaking to Russ earlier about mentality. The mentality of some of these players are kind of under Arsene Wenger and Unai Emery now. I'm talking about Xhaka and Ozil and Kolasinac and these players that have been in the team for four or five seasons now under these managers. These are the same players that went out to Monaco on away goals. These are the same players that got battered by Bayern Munich. These are the same players that got hammered by Barcelona. These are the same players that lost 4-0 at St Mary's on Boxing Day, that lost 8-2 against Man United at Old Trafford. These are the sort of... I don't see other teams doing that. I can't tell you another team that's lost 8-2. I can't tell you another team that went to St Mary's and lost 4-0. And this is my problem. Some of those players are sitting in the team, and they have that weak mentality, and they've proved year in, year out, that they are letting us down. I'm not done with Arsenal Football Club, but I am done with this team. This team have proven to me that they are weak mentally, because we've gone out to Olympiacos. So for me, I'm not seeing the progression, and we need to kind of start again. Now, Arteta can't start again, because he's got to finish this season first, and he can't get rid of the 8 or 9 players that need to go in one transfer window, which is why I want the fans to give the guy time, because he needs time. Jurgen Klopp was at Liverpool, right? And he had Sacco and Benteke and Joe Allen. He's got rid of all of them now. He's kept Henderson, Firmino, Lallana and Lovren. Everyone else is a different player. That hasn't taken him one season. That's taken him 5 years. So if we want to be looking at a rebuilding project, we have got to be patient, because we are not going to win the league for at least 5 years, in my opinion, maybe even longer if Liverpool carry on. So we have to be patient, and it takes time. But I'm being maybe pessimistic, but I'm being realistic that this team ain't up for it. So I can't go into Wednesday going, this will be fine, boys. It's a good time to play them. 3 points on the cards.
Well, I mean, plenty of people in the chat there agreeing with you, Dan. I'm not saying that we're going to go up there and win, but what I'm saying is I'm the kind of fan who will. I'm not going to dwell on the West Ham performance. When the whistle goes on Wednesday night, it's different. It's a different game. We'll talk about it then on Monday. Do you know where we went wrong and what happened? But Mark, are you the same as Dan? Are you saying nah, it's not going to happen. The players are weak, this, that, and the other. There's no way we can get a result up there. Or are you siding on Are you siding on my side? It's a different game, different tactics. I mean, what's going to happen is, like Dan said, Dan thinks he might go up there for the draw. If he goes up there, he might go up there not to lose. So if that means if he's going out not to lose, he's going to play a defensive formation. It's not going to be very entertaining for us to watch. then we go on Twitter afterwards, or we come on the podcast, and then we're slating the performance because there was no attacking play and this, that, and the other. Yet we wanted to go up there and not lose. So
we don't want to lose 8-2. That's what we're saying. We don't want to get embarrassed like we have been, like these players have embarrassed us before. So that's what we ask, isn't it? You know, whilst he's rebuilding this side, we're asking him to give us nothing to be ashamed of, and we are still ashamed of getting done 8-2 at Old Trafford. It's embarrassing, and you know, so, and also it's detrimental to the development and the growth of the young lads that we've got in the side. You know, I don't want Saka, Martinelli, Torreira, you know, the other young lads we're building, the Tierney's, your Lenos. I don't want Leno picking the ball out the back of net 8 times up at the City Stadium. You know, I don't want it happening. I don't want those players shirking that thing. So if we have to go up there and park the bus and get out with a draw or nicking the game like we did on Saturday, we could argue we got lucky and we won the game, whatever. You know, then that's what it is. If that's what he's doing, if he's protecting the younger lads coming through, then fantastic. But Dan's 100% right, and as everybody else agrees, you know, that these lads have had their chance, they've had their time, they've let us down. You know, again, still Saturday, Xhaka's letting us down. You know, yes, he's been fantastic under Arteta because he's had somebody holding his hand in front of the back four and he's had clear instructions and he's only having to do half a job, whereas he used to have to do the whole job in front of the back four on his own. He's now only having to worry about one side. And it helps, by the way, that the young lad left back Saka's been bombing on and actually getting the opposition to think about what he's doing rather than us thinking about what they're going to do. They're having to think about him, and Xhaka's like, whoa, this is easy, isn't it? You know what I mean? The midfielders are chasing this lad back, you know what I mean? So he ain't had half as much work to do and some, but yet he's still giving the ball away and gifting West Ham their best chances of the game, you know? So, and that's what we're sick of and that's what we want rid of. But if you get rid of Xhaka, we have got to replace him with somebody better. You cannot just let him go. And that takes time. And Dan mentions 5 years at Liverpool. It's going to take that. And by the way, Dan mentioned Lallana and Lovren still there from when Klopp took over the club. I wouldn't mind arguing that those two won't be there at the end of this summer transfer window. They are the next two to be gone, by the way. So I think by the time he starts next season, Klopp, he'll have been there 6 years and he will have completely transformed that squad. And that is what Arteta has got to do. But it takes backing from the board, it takes backing from the fans, it takes time, it takes money. You've got to get all those components. And we just hope he gets all of those components. But, you know, Wednesday night, you know, we're just hoping we don't get embarrassed, Craig, aren't we?
Lee, Mark mentions components. I don't think he will get all the components, do you?
Well, I don't know. That's a great point. You know, I mean, we've got to hope that he does. I think that, you know, I think at times, you know, there could be a little motive to Arteta. You know, I'm looking on the other side. He's showing the board, you know, that these players are not good enough. You know, and then when he goes into the meeting, go, look, I've given so-and-so this amount of games. I've given so-and-so this amount of time. And look, we're still where we are. For us to get to that next step, we're going to have to get this and this and that. So I think that maybe there'll be a little bit of a clever thing going on there in some sort of ways, you know. And I think that, listen, we've got a result against West Ham, and I'm not going to slag the players off if they've got it about them and all that. This is the first time under Mikel Arteta that we're going away from home to one of the big boys. This apart from Chelsea, and I looked at the game against Chelsea, and I see everything in that performance that I want to see from my Arsenal football team. We didn't win that game.
That was with 10 men.
Come away with 10 men, but I come away proud of being an Arsenal fan that day. It wasn't about the result; it was about the performance. I was proud of the performance. Now, I wasn't proud of the performance on Saturday, but we got the result. Now I want to go up and see what they're like against City, and I think what Arteta will be the same. I think that he'll be looking at this and going, right, we've got Man City, they're a good footballing side. I think when we played City last time, it was under Ljungberg, and we was 3-0 down within 15 minutes, and we didn't really show a lot. so that I look at that and go, right, this is Arteta's chance now to see what he can, and I think that it'd be, I'm going up there. I'm not going to say we're going to go and win the game. I'm not going to say that we're going to lose the game. I want to go there and see us put in a performance where I can just go, that's my arse. That's what I'm proud of seeing. That's what I want to do. And I think they deserve to be, and Arteta deserve to be given that chance before anybody goes on about them criticising they're going to win or whatever. But if we are to win this game and we come back and we win this game and then back it up with another win against Brighton, people then can change their perspective, because at the end of it, that's what we're going in the right direction. I think that's what we really all want to see. We want to see where we're going and what we're doing. Now, I think Kevin said it a couple of weeks ago. What it seems to be at the moment with Arsenal is we're taking 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. We want it to be turned the other way around. So we want to go now to City and get another sort of performance and get a result. And you can turn around then and say, do you know what? We've won ugly against West Ham. We've come up to City and we've put in this sort of performance and we've got battling a point and whatever. And then we're going to go to Brighton. We're going to go there and we're going to turn them over, hit them on the break and do so. I think when you've got players like Pepe, Aubameyang, Martinelli up front, or Eddie, whoever you're going to play up there, the one thing that they've all got is pace, right? I think that I watched Man City yesterday. They've got vulnerabilities at that back for Fernandinho and Otamendi. If they're going to be the two that are going to play, or Stones, they can be got at. And I mean, got at on the counter-attack. And if that's what I want to see. I want to see the Aubameyangs, and I want to see us, every time they go forward, we win that ball and then we frighten them with the counter-attacking football. And I think that's what we've got to be looking to do. What I'm looking forward to seeing Wednesday is a different, I want to see a different sort of thing where, like we did against Chelsea, I think that if we didn't have had that sending off and that horrendous mistake from Mustafi, I felt that we would have grown into that game and maybe gone on and won that game. I want to see that against City, and let's give them a bloody good game. That's all I'm asking for.
Absolutely. Dan, before we wrap it up, are you going to give us a prediction?
6-0 City.
6-0. I'm going to save it till tomorrow because I'm going to do a preview of a City fan tomorrow. So I'm going to save it for tomorrow.
Are you on that, Mark? Are you on that one tomorrow, Mark?
No.
No, so you can.
We can give you. Yeah.
I'm not going to give a prediction because I'm on Potts preview tomorrow.
No.
Yeah.
I'll give you a prediction. I'm going to go for 0-0.
0-0.
Blimey.
Oh, blimey.
I'm going to go. We'll go up there and shut them out.
Oh, do you know what? I wouldn't be disappointed with that.
I'll take that all day
long.
long.
I'll take it all day long.
Leno, man of the match again.
You'd have no bloody choice, the poor bloke.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't understand, Craig, why being an ex-goalkeeper, why you don't rate Leno's more, really. I don't know why you haven't spotted his talents by now. Yeah.
Don't rate him. You must be joking. He's in...
Biting. Don't bite.
We've got a live one here. We've got a live one.
What?
Leno is in the top 3 goalkeepers in the Premier League. Leno is in the top 3 in this division.
It's better than Alistair, isn't he? I said on the other show, I said you have to spend 70, 80 million pounds to get the finished article, don't make mistakes. Well, I got that wrong, didn't I? Jesus, did you see him yesterday?
Yeah. Some of our supporters.
Leno's he's a decent goalkeeper.
Some of our supporters.
He's going to be busy, Craig.
Some of our supporters are very spoilt. In their opinion, very spoiled in their
goalkeepers.
Oh God, I'm gonna have to get some new guests who will let me finish. In their opinions,
on next week.
In their,
Can I just jump in there a second? Can I just come in there, Craig? I've got something to say.
Yes, they're very spoiled. Leno is a great goalkeeper, and we're very fortunate to have him. I'm telling you that now. So yeah,
I agree.
So
I like him.
If you look back at the goalkeepers we've had in the last few,
it makes him look great. Then I'll give you that.
Anyway,
he's still playing for us, isn't he, Fabianski? See him smiling.
That was brilliant, wasn't
it? Yeah.
Lee, give us your prediction, mate.
I think that I'm being. talking with me in my head rather than my heart. I think we'll give them a good game, but I think that I'll be honest, our defence is not good enough to hold them in the areas that they are. I think they're pass around us, and I think that we put up a gallant effort, but I think that in the end, 3-1 to Manchester City.
Yeah,
fair enough. I might as well give you my prediction because that's what mine is as well. 3-1 City.
There you go.
I'm going to go 2-1 Arsenal.
Get in there, Craig.
Go on, Craig.
I'm going 2-1 Arsenal.
Good. No, I like that. Like a bit of positivity. Like,
yeah.
He said he hadn't been well.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
It could happen. The VAR done us a favour for the first time for a very long while on Saturday. We haven't mentioned that. VAR come to our aid.
That was the name of the podcast, wasn't it?
Yeah,
we haven't even talked about it.
No, that's true.
VAR done the business for us, So
that's true. Yeah, I was actually quite surprised. That's only our third. I think I was reading. It's our third goal given to us this season by VAR. I think the first one was away at Old Trafford when Aubameyang was flagged offside. That was amazing. That one I watched them today. Amazing how that linesman has put the flag up for that.
It's amazing how she's put the flag up for this one, though. I couldn't believe it.
Well, I've got to say, it's a bit closer than the one at Old Trafford.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And then I think the second time we got helped out was at Norwich. I think.
But for her putting her flag up, she's put her flag up there, and it's a tight call, whatever way you look at it. I don't think she should have put her flag up because it stopped me celebrating because I see the flag straight away, and
same.
So I said, it's not a goal. So I sat down, you know what I mean. And you can't celebrate it then, can you?
No, I said that to my dad. I was thinking, celebrate this now.
That's one of the main reasons I want. There's loads of arguments for VAR and why it should be banished from the league, but that is one of the main reasons I want it gone. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, even when you're in the stadium and everyone knows that I'm an armchair fan, whatever, but I don't even jump out of my chair anymore because
Sorry, Craig.
Go on.
Can I interrupt there? Sorry. The funniest thing about it, right, was that I was with my mate who works with me, Paul, who's a West Ham fan, and when that went in, I said, don't worry. I said, you're all right. I said, it's offside. We just see the screen, don't we? We don't see nothing. And it was going on and going on. And he turned around and said, this is taking far too long. He said, this is going to be a goal. And I'm going, no. I still think it'd be offside. And I think someone said it took 4 minutes. Is that right for it to be decided? That's unbelievable. That's got to be.
But what I said on Twitter, it took 4 minutes to decide that offside, and it took about 30 seconds to decide that Aguero was offside.
Yeah, yesterday. Yeah.
About 30 seconds.
And I'll tell you what, and also on about the penalties, come on, how has that Lacazette not been given as a penalty?
Yeah, I know.
It's crazy.
It's a podcast. I mean, we could sit here and it's another podcast for the interlude, perhaps. We could sit here and just mark down. I mean, it's so inconsistent. That's another big problem for it. It's just so inconsistent. I think what they should do is, sorry, Graham, what they should do is
carry on, Nigel.
Yeah.
Go on, Nigel.
What they should do is perhaps what they should do is might be an idea is what they do at Wimbledon. Lacazette could have said to the ref,
"How's that?
We've got." No, that's cricket, Lee.
That's cricket, mate.
Yeah, that's cricket, mate. Yeah.
Balls, please.
We get 3 calls, and Lacazette could have said, "We get 3 calls, and Lacazette could have said to the ref, I want you to look at that, and I want you to use one of our calls, and I want that looked at. What just happened there?" Referee says, "Right, go over and have a look at it. Yeah, you were right. It's a penalty."
They were talking about it, weren't they? They did say that could be something.
Or Arteta can make the call. Lacazette can come over to Arteta and say to Arteta,
"That's what it'd be, manager."
Because that was a penalty. Yeah.
What's his name? I can't stand him. He's the next worst under than Dean. What was the one we had on? I can't remember his name now.
Martin Atkinson.
He's 5 yards away from that incident with Lacazette. To me, he chooses not to see it. You know what I mean? Like, do you imagine if he said, I've got away with that one. Now you've got to go over the screen. Oh, no, what am I going to do now? It's just an absolute fast. You know what I mean? But anyway, we spoke about VAR now, so there you go.
There we go.
Well, there you go.
I hate talking about it.
At least we got it in, and I'm glad Mark
I
reminded
haven't
us.
spoken about my Savoy experience, neither have I? But maybe leave that for another time.
Well, that's because no one wants to hear about it.
Have you finished telling us about your back, Lee? Lee, why
Huh?
don't you finish telling us about your back?
Oh no.
Go on, tell us about your Savoy. Lee,
Come
you
on,
went to
Lee.
dinner, and you sat down and you had dinner with none other than
Mr. David O'Leary.
When's he coming on the podcast?
He's never heard of our podcast, by the way.
Oh, there's a surprise.
He don't, like, I don't know if he does podcasts and things like that. Like those, you know, what I mean, very interesting chat. Very, very nice player. Of course, Arsenal's record appearance holder. Like, you know, and it was a very, very brilliant experience. And then I'm sitting there, like, obviously, like as a guest, but someone paid £6,000 to have lunch with him, and there I am sitting here for nothing other than an evening meal. You know what I mean? How lucky am I? Like, you know what I mean? So
yeah, and if you're watching that person, no, we won't be refunding you.
No, like, you know what I mean? So it was good and good fun, like, you know. So what a great night, you know. So I really enjoyed it, like, you know.
Good. Oh, is that it?
Yeah. Well, what else you want me to say? I had.
Well, I thought you had a story. Normally, you had a story.
Free champagne and.
Was it a nice meal, Lee? Was it nice food? Was it?
Very, very nice food. Like,
what did you have?
On my Insta account, you can have a look. It was very, very nice. And the one thing was like
shameless plug.
No.
Come on, Insta, if you want.
Pick that up.
I took a photo of my dinner.
Just before I go, I've got to say they had the most gorgeous like coffee cake afters, right? And it was absolutely beautiful. Bit of coffee, ice cream. I love all that sort of stuff. So I've eaten mine within seconds, right? And David O'Leary left his, only half of it.
I'll have that.
And I thought, oh, can I? Shall I? Can I? You finished, David?
No.
I didn't. I kept me dignity, like, you know what I mean? So,
what is it with you and nicking food? You nicking Kevin Campbell's food?
Yeah, I know, like, you know. So, well, when you sit next to Kevin don't eat a lot, funny enough, for a big fella, like, you know what I mean? And like, he turns around and I'll have his bit and bump that.
I'll have his beef Wellington, you told me, and his mash.
That Bosh, I'll have that, like, you know what I mean? So, yeah, like, you know, we was up at the mansion. I nicked all his grub. He didn't eat it, not one bit of it, like, you know. So if you ever go out for a meal with Kevin Campbell, sit next to him because you're bound to get seconds. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I think we'll finish it up there. Yeah.
Poor old Kevin. Poor old Kevin's going to be eating his dinner like this every time he goes out. Back
everywhere
away.
he goes.
You know what it is? He's waiting for it to walk. He's waiting for it to cool down, and he's nicking it.
Some fella's going to come over next time he's eating his dinner. Someone's going to rob her. Well, it's all right. Lee Judges said I could take it.
Oh dear!
Thanks very much to you all in the chat box. Thanks for staying with us for the whole hour. Much appreciated. We peaked over 300 again. Thank you very much indeed.
Thanks for your support, guys. Appreciate it.
Big numbers. If you haven't liked it, please like and share it to all your Gona mates. Get it out there. Thanks to our podcast sponsors, West Cork Beer Company and thegunners.com. Links below in the description. Please go and check them out. They help me bring the podcast to you. Dan, thanks very much, mate. Thanks very much indeed.
Thank you, boys. Cheers. Enjoyed that.
Go and follow Dan at Dan Arsenal 87. Mark, thank you very much, sir.
No, thank you.
Can we get Mark's followers up to over 20?
That'll be,
No, don't, because I don't put nothing on there. I'd much rather.
You're going to come on there and start giving it. You know what I mean?
I don't want followers. I'd rather you hit the like button. That's much more important.
There you go. What a boy. What a man.
Oh, he's just sitting that way.
It's not about me. I'm only filling in for Graham. He's back next week, by the way. So don't. It's all. It's been nice, guys. It's been nice.
Judges,
you got to come on next week just so we can cane him, Mark.
Can I just come in there, Graham?
We should all do it for the laugh now. Every time he goes to talk. Oh, hang on. Yeah.
No, don't. He won't come back. I'm looking forward to seeing him. Actually, I've missed him. I've missed Graham on the show. He's very insightful, and I am looking forward to having him back. As
I'd say the other thing when he's great when he's on, you can go and get a cup of tea, have something to eat when he's talking. You know what I mean? Like,
he's still going.
I
thought I don't know if Harry told you about it, or I don't know. Did you notice it in the WhatsApp group? But he sent a message and he said that he'd be back for the 16th and. He's off work, and if all was going well, you know, he could come back on the 16th. And I was like, yeah, great. I'll look forward to getting interrupted. I'll look forward to getting interrupted by you on the 16th. So, mate, Harry texts back a load of crying faces on. I was so worried I'd upset him, but about 3 hours later, he sent laughing faces back.
Love Graham.
Yeah,
great lad.
Top bloke.
He is great. He is very, very so knowledgeable, and to be so knowledgeable about football and to have never played, I find it amazing.
I do, and admitting it and all.
Yeah, never played football, but so knowledgeable about it. Well, I mean, a bit like me, really. I played it all my life and know fuck all about it. So. The complete polar opposites.
Well, you can't spot a goalkeeper, can you? That's for sure.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Not a well-class one anyway, Mark.
No, I can't believe you missed him, Craig. He was right under your nose all this time as well.
I know. On that note, thanks very much. We'll see you next week. Let's hope for a positive result up in Manchester on Wednesday. Until we see you again, take care of yourselves and each other. Up the Arsenal.
Up the Arsenal.
Ah, you Gunners.